appear. This is what shaitan does. He appears into our mind and then disappears, and again whispers, and again disappears. Every time he tells you, yes, but what is the guarantee that tomorrow you will get it back? You're paying today, but what is the guarantee you will get it back tomorrow? You are going for Hajj. It is very hot, 120 degrees. You might come back dead. All those whispers in the name of Islam and Sharia, because of false hopes that we get, a man does not know of tomorrow. What Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam said is, plan even for tomorrow and day after, but plan the way Allah wishes and don't plan the way you wish. And we in Quran have been told persistently, do not say I will do this tomorrow unless you also say Insha'Allah. For anything, even small bits. You are going tomorrow on a travel, tomorrow you are going to see someone, tomorrow you want to post a letter, tomorrow you want to talk to someone. Do not say I will do this tomorrow unless you accompany it with Insha'Allah. If Allah wishes. Quran says. Why? The planning has got, so there is no false hope. And the hope is pinned to none but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As opposed to this, there is false fear. Mullah says, but who has seen? Well, if there is Iman, then it's not what Mullah says, it is what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says. He says, and there are so many things which Rasulullah has told us, Imams, Aimma have told us, we simply say we believe, but there is a false fear which shaitan brings in, and that is the waswasa from which we are forbidden. So many sins are committed. For example, in my wealth, there is khums to be paid. Chopra malakelat. It's in the books. But write a check. At the time of check writing, the hand trembles. Such a big sum, how can you write? Some people offer checks without signatures. Why can't you write a check? Because shaitan tells you that if you will write this check, a substantial sum will go out. What will happen tomorrow? Allah says, give it unto me as a soft loan, and I will give you back manifold. People just don't practice what they believe. Just, it is as simple as that. There is a false fear. A friend of mine, I know that what he is doing is wrong, and I can tell him. It's not that, what will happen if I tell him? Then my friendship will dissolve. A rich man, a wealthy man, an influential person does something wrong, blatantly wrong. If anybody else would have done, we would have told him off immediately. But this man, we cannot tell him because of his mapesa. Because if we tell him, then tomorrow he will stop donation to Jamaats. He will feel ill about it. To hell with such donations. If it is based on hypocrisy, because either Allah can look after his cause or he cannot. If he can, then why care for people who promise things and do not do it and keep conditions to fulfill it? To hell with those monies and donations. Jahannam, we don't want to touch them. Because we don't want to be bought over. If we are bought over, then there is false hope. Shaitan is trying to dominate our lives while we don't want shaitan to dominate our lives. We want to be dominated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to prove that when he wills, it will happen. So, one has got to be fearless. And one has got to pin hope on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. None can harm you, even if people stand up. And Quran says, the test of faith is, when the whole world stands against you to abuse you, your iman must increase. Your faith must become stronger. Because you have got your pure pure link with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the whole world and society may abuse and accuse and speak ill of you. As they gather forces to rebel against you, your faith must increase and your steadfastness must increase, because you know that you are pure in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the test of life is in abandoning the whispers and waswasa and come out openly and allow the thinking to become pure. That is the test of life. Otherwise, when the thinking is bad, now taking a very, very apt example of today, where Sharia is being accused of suspicion and there is no suspicion in Sharia. Where Sharia is being accused of superstition and there is no superstition in Sharia. Example. Many people come and say, "Hey, Mulla Sahab, maro chokro pariksha ma pass thato ji nathi. My son never passes in the exam." Well, what must be wrong? If your son or daughter does not pass in an examination, something wrong in her or his studies, in his or her efforts, or in his teaching. I mean, that is as objective as one could be. Instead of trying to find a remedy which should be objective, they come for taviz. Can you write something? Sasti sukhri ne siddh purni jatra. Something which you can write immediately and he wears and he passes the exam. Nothing of that sort can ever happen. Never. There was no such thing. There is no such thing. What has brought is false fear. False fear in the community which has come from other sources is being used in the name of religion, with the result that many enlightened youngsters come and ask, is this what Sharia says? Is this what Islam says? That if you fail your exam, if you fail your business, you must go for taviz? The answer is no. The answer is no. A simpler example, which of course is not haram in that sense, but a man who persistently on every nook and corner in life goes for istikhara. You are a businessman, you want to buy something? Use your brain. See the merits and demerits of a particular transaction and tafaddal, tawakkal ala Allah. But no, we want to do everything. The result is that it becomes an obsession. And then my son sees that my father, if he wants to buy 1 kilo of moong, also looks at istikhara. And if he wants to sell 1 pair of shoes, he also consults istikhara. Therefore, he will do the same thing because he believes in it. But when his son will come, who might be enlightened and highly educated, he will surmise and infer that this is Islam. Everything by istikhara. It is not so. When the Prophet said, and Quran clearly says, use your intelligence and then leave it unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, I'm not trying to discourage people who do istikhara. I don't say that. But if I were to reveal to you how funny experiences we have every day, you will be all surprised. People don't go for toilet unless they consult istikhara. I don't know what will happen to them. And I know this for certain. People do not go even out, and I'm only pray that they should not come when somebody sits in this Imam Bar, not trying to come out, because istikhara for coming out through that door is bad. I don't know what will happen to Mohsin Dharamsi or whoever he is. He can't switch off the light, he can't close it. Baba, go home. Say, istikhara is bad. When we have an obsession of that sort, it is based on false hope and false fear. And this is the waswasa which has penetrated, permeated into religion, and we practice it as such. We practice it as such. It is not there. It is not in Sharia, whatever we are doing sometimes. But it's all based on our waswasa. And this waswasa has got to be removed. It takes us to sins. Sometimes we go up to shirk in the false hope. And I'll say this very openly, that while we have Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, we have Hazrat Abbas alayhis salam, we have Imam Musa ibn Jaffer, Babul Hawaij alayhis salam, we have our own Prophet, we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of whole universe. We have all these wasa'il, we leave this. And sometimes a person from totally different religion comes and says, I can cure. I can give you some holy water. And our people go for that holy water. Either we have faith or we don't have faith. Shirk, this is shirk. So you will find that many of the sins we commit, they originate from waswasa, which we believe is thinking, is not thinking. The only answer that the Prophet gave was, whenever he was told, somebody came and said, Ya Rasulullah, the waswasa have increased. The answer he gave was, say la ilaha illallah. Repeatedly. Say la ilaha illallah. Repeatedly whenever you get waswasa. And the same thing was repeated by our sixth Imam. When people used to come and say, Yabna Rasulillah, there is too much of waswasa going on in the mind. Things we try to equate while it is wrong. We try to infer, it is wrong. We try to surmise, it is wrong. We are acting on waswasa, not on thinking. Imam said, Qulu la ilaha illallah. Say there is no Allah, no one to be worshipped but Allah. As you will remind yourself of Tawheed, you will come to realize that waswasa is from shaitan. Say la ilaha illallah again and again. And that is the reason why there is no ism a'zam greater than la ilaha illallah. Whenever we are in difficulties, say la ilaha illallah, even if it is 100 times. Say la ilaha illallah. And because this is the month in which both the wiladat and wafat of Imam Rida salawatullah salam alayhi is reported. On the date which has passed, 11th Zilqad, it was the birth of Imam Rida alayhi salam, which we observed. On 23rd of Zilqad, this month, there is a riwayah that Imam Rida alayhi salam was given the poison and his wafat took place on 23rd of Zilqad. And that has been lent some credence by as great a research scholar as Marhum Nasrul Millat. Nasrul Millat of Lucknow, Marhum, used to believe that the true date of Imam Rida alayhi salam's wafat was 23rd of Zilqad. Well, that is not very material at the moment, but because this month both ways has a connection, therefore, I will tell you what Imam Rida alayhi salam did about this particular thing, that when he arrived at a place called Nishapur, which is Nisabur in Arabic, and Nishapur is still there. Those who want to go to Khurasan by train, they pass from there. They go by bus and roads, they go to Nishapur. Even in Mashhad themselves, they arrange your itinerary, your ziyarat, and they take you to Nishapur. When Imam alayhi salam reached Nishapur, nearly 4,000 ulama of Ahlul Bayt and against the Ahlul Bayt, who were then in Nisapur, when they came to know that the son of the Prophet, Ali ibn Musa al-Rida, has come. So all of them flocked together, crowded, and they wouldn't allow the animal upon which Imam alayhi salam was sitting to proceed. Everyone said, everyone, all the ulama, everyone with a pen and paper in his hand said, Yabna Rasulillah, we would like to hear one hadith from your own mouth. At least one tradition from your own mouth. So that we could report it tomorrow and say that we have heard this from Imam of Ahlul Bayt. Now, when someone is given an opportunity to give only one hadith, so that the people may remember it forever, one has to think as to he should give that which is fundamental, that which is most important, that which is cardinal. Because as far as hadith are concerned, there are thousands. One has to make a selection so that this becomes a memorable occasion in hadith. So Imam alayhi salam lifted the veil, and from there he said, I have heard from my father, who heard from his father, and he heard from his father, and he went on narrating it, connecting it up to Imam Ali alayhi salam, each Imam reporting from his father. And Imam Ali alayhi salam heard from the Prophet, and the Prophet was told by Jibreel, and Jibreel read it on Arsh, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من قال لا إله إلا الله دخل في حصني ومن دخل في حصني أمن من عذابي. Whoever says La ilaha illallah enters into my fortress, and whoever enters into my fortress, he is saved from my chastisement. Now this was the principal and fundamental hadith, because to say La ilaha illallah, first part of it is La ilaha. La ilaha means there is no God. Negation. The second part is illallah, except Allah. The first part is negation, the second part is affirmation. It is the most important formula of Islam, where a Muslim first begins to negate. I believe in none illallah but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a very important formula. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah means I as a Muslim bear witness there is none to be worshipped but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means there is a negation of all false hopes, all false fears. None can give me any benefit but Allah. None can harm me but Allah. All of them wrote down. None said, Ibn Rasulullah, this is a common hadith. No. Everyone understood the importance at that particular moment. And they all wrote with the chain of narration. That is from Ali ibn Musa Ridha reporting from Musa ibn Jaffer, from Jaffer al-Sadiq, from Muhammad al-Baqir, from Zainul Abidin, from Husayn ibn Ali, from Ali ibn Abi Talib, from Rasulullah, from Jibreel, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the narration, chain of narration. That is the reason why many ulama of Ahlus Sunnah have written that this is hadith called hadith of Silsilatul Dhahab. The narration chain is a golden chain. Every narrator is a ma'soom. And Ahmad Hanbal said that if you were to write, now again, don't ask me to write it for you. It's not meant for that. He just expressed his sentiment.